Hi guys, welcome to another Figuring Out Japan video. We sell all the coolest Japanese collectibles straight out of Japan. Please check the description of this video for more details, including our Facebook page and our eBay store. So this video is kind of going to be a bit of a fun video, a bit of a trip down memory lane, because we're going to be looking at the cards that you see in the background. I've actually reviewed the figures that you see in a separate video. They're the Pokemon D Arts figures, and we do sell them. They're all pretty rare and collectible, quite expensive actually. But as I said, the purpose of the video is actually going to be to show you these cards. We don't generally sell cards. I mean, if you do want them, you can get in touch with us, but generally we focus more on figurines and art books and things like that. But these cards, as you can see, they're actually the English version ones. The same ones exist in Japanese, except they're obviously in Japanese. And I guess just to sort of, I'm probably going to be rambling in most of this video really, but Pokemon was released in, I think it was 1996, and it started with the blue and red versions released on the Game Boy Pocket. And back then there was 150 Pokemon, and the only difference really between the two games was that there was some Pokemon only available in the blue, and then there was some only available in the red. And so the whole objective was to get the 8 gym badges by defeating, I guess you could call them bosses, and then the other objective was to get all 150 Pokemon, which to do that you had to sync with people with the other version of the game, which wasn't that easy because this was sort of, internet was not such a mainstream thing back then. In fact, people didn't really use it at all, and you actually had to have some special link cable. So I remember even my friend, he bought the red one, I bought the blue one, but neither of us wanted to go out and spend like $30 on the cable, so we never got all 150 Pokemon. Isn't that a sad story? But anyway, so to the card game. So these came out, I think they came out in around 1999, and there's probably still Pokemon cards being released. There's been heaps of series, but this was the very first series, and it's actually a game. So the way that you play the game basically is that each Pokemon has a move. So if I look at Bulbasaur, he has Leech Seed, which does 20 HP damage, and you can see the HP printed at the top here. So if he was versing, I don't know, let's say Charmander has 50. So if you do Leech Seed, then he would do 20 damage. And then Charmander would do Ember, and then he would do 30 damage to Bulbasaur. But then there's some rules, like you'll see obviously Bulbasaur's weakness is fire. So if he's a verse of a fire Pokemon, I think it's double damage. I don't remember. And also to do the move, you had to have the energy cards to sort of pay the cost of doing that move. So there was also a lot of energy cards and antidotes and things like that, which you kind of needed to play the game, but no one really wanted those cards. People wanted cards of the actual, the actual Pokemon. So that's how you actually played the game, and you'll see that these ones. So you can see there, if it's got a circle here, it means common, and then if it's, you probably can't see, but if it's a diamond, it's like kind of in the middle, and then these ones actually have a little star, so that's how you know how rare they are. And the number here is the number in the particular series. So even though this was the first series, it didn't just start at Pokemon 1 and then go through to Pokemon whatever. It sort of was a mix. So yeah, that was kind of a bit random, but these Pokemon were all from the first series. And the rarest, or maybe not necessarily rarest, but certainly the most popular, was actually Charizard. Charizard's a very popular Pokemon for any sort of Charizard merchandise, like the figure I just showed you, or like special Charizard, DS covers and things. They always just seem to go for a lot. And back in the day, I don't know how much these are worth now, but they're probably, I actually did have a quick look before making this video. I think they're probably worth about the same as what they were back then. So I don't know though. I'd be interested to know what you think. But back in the day, I remember Charizard, this was like 15 years ago, he would sell for $40. Now, working for a figurine company and dealing with collectibles every day, I could kind of believe that. I've seen some pretty crazy, even the Charizard here, he goes for you know, 300-400 plus, believe it or not. Like, that's how much he sells for. The other two are a bit cheaper, actually quite a lot cheaper. But, you know, so I could believe that, but certainly back in the day as a kid, I was like, $40 for a card. Like, you know, if you think about 1/40th of the size of that card, you know, that's how much a dollar gets you. So yeah, he was just really, really, you know, rare and hard to get. But they're all, you know, they're all pretty rare. Actually, my favorite Pokemon's Venusaur. I don't know, I just like him. And I actually was able to get Blastoise and Charizard, but not Venusaur. So I actually had to buy him on. I actually got him many years later, to be honest. I sort of gave up getting him at the time. But yeah, so you know, but it looks really nice actually. It's like, you know, something you could sort of, I don't know if you'd frame it, but even just having it in, you know, some card holders like this, and you know, you could just blue tack it to your wall or something, or even as like a back display for something like this. You know, it looks quite nice. I mean, the 6 cards here aren't worth much at all, but as I said, the other 3, you know, probably will cost you, you know, quite a bit to get. But yeah, these cards were just so popular. Like, of all the toys and things I remember from my childhood, I don't remember anything as popular as these cards. It was just, you just couldn't buy them. Every time a shop got them, they just sold out. You know, they just sold out, and it was nuts. It was crazy. So yeah, and eventually the schools actually banned them. So my school, and you know, pretty much every school where I was from, I don't know about your country, they just banned them. And to be honest, it's kind of a good thing, because like, I just couldn't focus at school. I'd be sitting in school thinking about lunchtime and trading and playing and getting more cards and things like that. I actually didn't buy many cards at all. I sort of got, you know, like people had, like some of these cards are so common, people had like 5 of them, you know, so I kind of got like these simple cards, and then I was able to slowly from that increase my collection. But I did buy some cards. But yeah, as I said, they were just really hard to actually get in stores. But yeah, the schools banned them, and I think once the schools banned them, they kind of, you know, after that it sort of dropped off in popularity. Not so much the Pokemon, but you know, the card game, because it was just hard for kids to sort of trade them and play with them, that sort of thing. So yeah, and I guess, you know, some kids had theirs stolen and all that sort of stuff as well. So yeah, but I'd love to see some comments about, you know, your memories of these cards. Maybe you still have these lying around in your closet somewhere. I actually, you know, I could probably still name all the first 150 Pokemon, but after that, I really don't know. And I actually checked before making this video. Apparently, there's like 750 Pokemon now. It's crazy. But yeah, there's still the series still going. They still make games. They still make the cartoon and everything. They probably, I assume, they still make cards for it. Pokemon's just a very, you know, it's a very hot franchise. I mean, it actually sold more video games in 10 years than Super Mario did in 25 years. So it's yeah, very popular. And I mean, these cards are probably, you know, these are the first three Pokemon, you know, in the game. You had to choose one of these 3, and then, you know, they sort of evolve and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, but would love to hear your comments about stories that you remember, and yeah, maybe you still have these or whatever. So yeah, that's the Pokemon cards from the original trading game. Thank you very much for watching.